hard to believe that. Maybe you're just some superheroine who we never knew existed, who's out there to fight other evils that we, the Biomen, cannot defeat. I'm not supposed to exist here either, said Trini. The two teams began to introduce themselves. Kimberly and Hikaru are seen playing the flute simultaneously, learning new tricks from each other. Meanwhile, Mason and Sigorn getting no signs of the mysterious intruders. They were both frustrated at not finding anything. Dr. Man himself doesn't easily make a miscomputation, and yet I don't see any of the guys in the photos so soon. Maybe they're not around yet, Mason-sama. What if they're just hiding, said Sigorn. You could be right. Stand on guard, Sigorn, said Mason. Just then they happened to pass by on Tranza, Trakina, Mezagog, and Shizunka. Mason of Gear, we are here to have our proposal for an alliance. I am Tranza, second in command of the United Alliance of Evil. What? You know of us? Said Mason. I see you are more than a threat to our cause than help. You may be here as an enemy of both Biomen and Gear. We are here to help you defeat the Biomen, said Trakina. We are here to present a weapon that can render any superpowered freak weakened. However, we need your master, Dr. Man's help to get this weapon assembled. Preposterous lies, said Mason. Mecha clones, get them! The mecha clones began to appear to attack the United Alliance of Evil. However, they made toothpicks out of the mecha clones. Shizunka did her typical taunt before kicking the last one. You haven't faced Sigorn yet, said Mason, so don't be so happy, you insolent girl. Sigorn, telekinetic freeze force, said Sigorn. However, Tranza began to counter Sigorn with telekinetic powers. What the? Said Sigorn as he was knocked away. You are no match for me, said Tranza. Blast it, then I guess I'll have to fight with you, Tranza, said Mason, drawing his staff. Then so be it, said Tranza. Tranza and Mason got into a fight, one-on-one. Mason tried his best, but he was defeated. Now you see the need for your team to team up with the United Alliance of Evil. Take us to your leader at once, said Tranza. Yes, at once, said Mason. Good, said Tranza. At the Gear Fortress, Dr. Man was indeed upset at Farah. Dr. Man-sama, forgive me for being unable to find information on the intruders, said Farah. Silence, said Dr. Man. We are in the middle of a crisis here, and you still dare to make mistakes. No excuses are allowed for this. Suddenly, Mason and Sigorn, who weren't in a very good condition, had Tranza, Trakina, Mezagog, and Shizunka brought with him. What's the meaning of this, said Dr. Man. Mason, you disappointment. I did not tell you to get into a fight just yet. Sire, sorry for my rash actions, said Mason. Hold still, said Tranza. We are the United Alliance of Evil, and we propose to you that you can certainly help us weaponize this meteorite fragments containing a lethal source of power. This seems to be a useful proposal, said Dr. Man. Mason, hold still. It seems we can get quite a bargain. These meteorites contain some particles that could create a laser to get even with the Biomen and their new allies. I like it. Dr. Man began to work on the weapon with Tranza. The blueprints were creating a new dangerous weapon called the Nega Magnetic Laser. Begin mass production of these weapons at once, said Dr. Man. Yes, sir, said the big three. Mason, work with Tranza, said Dr. Man. Use this weapon to test its efficiency. Yes, sir, at once, said Mason. The Biomen, together with Jason's team, have noticed no sign of Gear or the United Alliance of Evil. Maybe we should call it a day, said Jason. I couldn't find any signs of Gear or the United Alliance of Evil. That's where you're wrong, said Tranza, who appeared with Mason and Sigorn. Oh no, said Jason. We've got no choice. Everybody, we've got to morph. Okay, Biomen, let's go!
Biomen!
Jason and his team transformed into their respective henshin phases.
We're ready to morph into action!
From destroying our planet Earth and ruling the universe with evil.
Began to beat the crap out of the mecha clones and Griams. However, it was time to finally test the Nega Magnetic Gun. Now it's time we fight on equal terms, said Mason. It's time to test the effectiveness of this weapon. Now let's see it fired at you, Red 1. Die, Shiro! Oh no, said Yellow 4-1. Red 1, look out! I can't allow this, said Yellow Ranger 1, who jumped in the way. Yellow Ranger 1 jumped in to save Yellow 4. The shots from the Negamatic laser hit through Yellow Ranger 1. Dangerous electrical energy hit her body, causing her to be weakened by the laser beam. Oh no, what's going on? Her powers have been diminished, said Red 1. Beware of that gun, guys, said Yellow Ranger 1, whose body coursed out with intense pain. This gun's really effective, said Mason. Now it's time to test it on the others to see whether or not the meteorites that were given are truly powerful. Now all of Super Sentai will be prepared to meet their doom with this weapon. Oh no, he's firing that deadly weapon, said Red 1. The other Rangers tried to dodge the laser shots. However, Mason ordered Sigorn to do a telekinetic grab on Yellow Ranger 1, causing her to go up and down. Let her down, you big bully, said Red Ranger 1. Okay, said Sigorn as he slammed Yellow Ranger 1 into Red Ranger 1. Yellow Ranger 1 felt extreme pain from the incident. At last, we fight on equal terms with this negamatic laser, said Mason. Now you see, first she will fall, then the rest of you will. Negamagnetic laser? Asked Red Ranger 1. It is indeed effective to neuralize anybody's powers hit by its powerful rays. We have prepared such a weapon for an occasion like this. As you know, it was seemingly a useless pile of rocks, but they do possess the lethal power to kill anyone in its path when it's used to become a laser beam, said Shranza, laughing. And we will see you suffer slowly, said Drakina. Red Ranger 1 and his teammates were now tending to a now injured Yellow Ranger 1. The Biomen used their Bioburn bar to create a diversion. However, in the midst of the confusion, Yellow Ranger 1 was separated from the rest of the team. Jason, Kimberly, Jason, and Kai Menzu were trying to look for Trini. We can't find her anywhere, said Kimberly, worried. We are so dead without her, said Jason. Losing a comrade can be the worst thing to happen. Remember, we're not invincible. Some Sentai warriors have died in the past. The Biomen were also trying to help too. Just then, Shiru Go was able to use his animal language to find her. She's at some old warehouses. Quick, follow that dog, said Shiru Go. Hey, isn't that being too far to trust any animal? Asked Jason. I don't think we have a choice, said Jason. We're greatly weakened without Trini. I feel we can trust him. Everybody began to follow the dog, who would lead them to Trini. Meanwhile, was out there weakened by the deadly rays of the Negamagnetic gun. She was by an empty warehouse in the midst of the confusion. Farrah Cat, on the other hand, was sent to hunt down Trini. I have to find my prey, said Farrah Cat, who was searching for Trini in the empty warehouse. I've got to recover somehow. There's got to be a flaw in that weapon, and I believe it will out the energy soon, said Trini. Just then, Makito, who ready to get sent to clean up the job, said, It's one of those meddling Power Rangers. Now is my chance to finish the job. However, as he approached her in a weakened state, wanting to finish her, he said, This is definitely no fun. No fun to finish off an opponent that's weak. Ah, no! Everything's a lie! Makito got visions when he was still a bad guy, to the time of his redemption, his short battle with the Decker Rangers, and finally realized Radiguet was hiding something. Hey, are you alright? Asked Makito. I'm in very bad condition, said Trini. Wait, aren't you from the United Alliance of Evil? I was forcibly entered there with my mind altered. You can't fight in your condition. You must recover. Helping you is the only way to... Wait, right now I can regain my memories of some redemption from evil, said Makito. Unfortunately for them, Farrah Cat entered with her nunchucks. So this is where my prey is, said Farrah Cat, wielding her nunchucks. What the, said Trini, now out of suit. Could this get any worse? She tried to force herself to stand up. Fortunately, the Biomen were able to find her. Mika came to her aid and kicked Farrah Cat very hard. She transformed into Yellow 4-1 and fired her strobe flash attack. Curses, said Farrah Cat, who was hit by another strobe flash from Yellow 4-1. Jason and Kimberly had found Trini weakened. Farrah Cat was forced to retreat from her being stunned. Yellow 4 reverted back to her human form. Thanks, Mika, said Jason. We owe you one. We can't let her die, said Mika, who was trying to help Trini. Makito and Kai Semenzu were helping her up. Just hang in there, Trini, said Jason. Just then, Mason entered the empty warehouse. He was still carrying the negamagnetic laser with him. Sigorn was with him as well. As you know, this laser's effectiveness is going to destroy you and the Biomen, said Mason. Now it's time to finish off our first target. No, said Kimberly as she shielded Trini. There's no use protecting her. She's dying anyway. You're going to be next, said Mason. Kimberly was also hit by the blast as well. Kimberly, shouted Trini. Arg, said Kimberly, who was also hit by the laser beams. I guess this will be one good shot. 2 birds with 1 stone, said Mason, who aimed at Kimberly, trying to kill her as well. Jason jumped in the way as well, being hit. Jason and Kimberly were also weakened. Fortunately, Tommy came on time. Guys, you can't fight in this condition, said Tommy. We have to retreat as soon as possible. Tommy pressed a button for the emergency search guard time train rescue operation. Makito, however, was hesitant to enter, but he was dragged in anyway. Makito, get in quick, said Ranu. We will help you recover your memories. But, said Makito, been part of the United Alliance of Evil. You give me no choice. Mikito, it's time to release you from your mind control for the sake of the Alba Rangers and the Deca Rangers, said Tommy, who dragged Mikito into the train to help with the Biomen. Meanwhile, the United Alliance of Evil was planning to mass-produce the weapon in order for them to conquer every era of Super Sentai. Will the Biomen survive the ordeal? Are you offended yet? Because that nega-magnetic laser is a complete rip-off of the anti-bioparticle weapon that killed Mika. I know I'm offended. And it's not going to get any better next week when our heroes get help from a Deus Ex Machina, while Thuy Trang's memory continues to be insulted. And based on how the Sun Vulcan chapters turn out, I think you know who this Deus Ex Machina is.